for anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur, knowing how to overcome fear of failure is an absolutely crucial skill that we have to master. Because entrepreneurship is a form of mastery, being successful in business is mastery, and any form of mastery requires failing again and again and again and again. It's a part of success. We cannot avoid it. We've got to fail if we're going to succeed. So if we talk about fear of failure and how to actually overcome fear of failure through the context of the number one fear of everybody in the world, even above fear of death, and that is fear of public speaking. All right, so to give an example, fear of public speaking. Now, when we're looking at, or when we're talking about fear of failure, it's often not actually fear of failing that we're scared of. It's the meaning that we're putting behind that, the story that we're putting behind what failing actually means. So with public speaking, if you think about it, let's say you were to, get on stage and let's say you forgot what you were meant to say. You forgot your words, right? Forgot your script. Now, for most of us, that would be an absolutely terrifying thought, standing there in front of hundreds of people or thousands of people like a lemon, not knowing, what to say. But it's not the physical action, right? There's nothing about the action of standing there and saying nothing that's terrifying. I mean, like as an example, do it right now. If you just stand still right now and say nothing, is there anything actually terrifying about that? Are you fearing death right now? Of course you're not. So it's not the physical action of standing still and saying no words. It's the meaning that we're putting behind that action in the location that we are, in the environment that we are. We're putting and attaching this meaning behind it. So the easy way, or the straightforward way, should I say, doesn't mean it's easy, but the straightforward way to start overcoming fear of failure is to start reprogramming what failure actually means. What's the meaning that we're choosing to put behind it? Because if we take this example of talking on stage, if the meaning that we put behind that is that everyone's going to boo us off stage or laugh at us or think we're a joke and we're going to go up on social media and it's going to go viral and the whole world's going to reject us for the rest of time, and we'll never succeed in business or in life, and then our family's going to reject us, our friends are going to reject us, and we'll be just a depressed shell of a human being living in our home alone, afraid to go outside, and then we won't be able to pay our mortgage and we'll end up homeless and bankrupt and ruined. That sounds ridiculous. But that's what our minds will do when we let it run riot. And so if you're looking at fear of failure, well, if that's what you're allowing the meaning behind it to be, then obviously that's going to be a crippling, debilitating fear. And our subconscious mind is going to do absolutely everything that it can to keep us trapped, right? And so if we can instead start to shift the meaning that we're putting behind that, change the story and change what we believe about what it actually means if we fail, then we're going to start we're going to stop having such a strong fear response in these situations. So for example, if you can get specific and actually, get real about what it would mean if you were to fail, say the public speaking example, if you were to forget your words, what does it actually mean? You're not going to end up homeless and depressed and ruined, like realistically. That's not going to happen. And so flip it the other way around. Let's say you were watching somebody else on stage and they forget their words for a few seconds, right? Are you going to laugh at them? Are you going to boo them off stage? Are you going to remember them for the rest of time about that one time that absolute idiot forgot their words on stage, and it'll be a story that you tell your grandkids forevermore? That's not going to happen, is it? Let's be honest. You'll probably feel sorry for them. You'll probably, respect them for getting up there in the first place. You'll probably forget about it within 30 minutes and get on with your life. You're not going to care. Like, they'll get on with their lives. Their lives not going to be ruined. You're not even going to remember it. So if it won't even matter in 30 minutes, 60 minutes, a day, whatever, if it won't matter then it doesn't need to matter now. And so if we were to actually stand on stage and actually forget our words, what does it actually mean? It doesn't mean rejection, doesn't mean humiliation unless we choose to let it mean that. It doesn't mean ruining our careers, ruining our lives, whatever. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means you got up on stage, you're a human being, you made a mistake, but then you just get on with it. You just move on. Everyone else forgets, it means nothing. That's the truth of the situation. And so if you can approach any fear that you have where you're fearing failing and it's keeping you paralyzed and keeping you stuck, if you can approach it through this lens of, well, let's get awareness around the meaning that we're putting behind that failure. Let's shine a light on the story that we're creating, a future-paced story that doesn't even exist anywhere but within our own minds. Look at the story that you're creating and question whether that's actually true. Is that actually the reality and the truth, or is that just some crap that we're concocting in our mind, which is blowing it way out of proportion? And I tell you, it's always going to be that we're blowing it way out of proportion, because that's what the mind is going to do. Designed to keep you within your comfort zone, designed to keep you safe, right? So when you feel fear of failure, if you can approach look at the fear through this lens, shine a light on it, develop awareness around what it actually means, what's the truth of the situation, and then just accept the worst case scenario. Okay, you know what, if that happens, so be it. What's the meaning behind that? It doesn't really mean anything unless I choose to let it mean something. It's just a knockback, it's just temporary. If it's not going to matter in a week's time, in a month's time, why does it need to matter now? It doesn't. It's going to become inconsequential, so you can choose to make it inconsequential now. It's irrelevant. So you stop letting these imaginary fears hold you in place, and you start seeing them for what they are, change the meaning, change the story behind them, accept the worst case scenario, and just start moving forwards in the face of them. When you do this, you're going to have a lot more peace of mind, and it's going to be a lot easier to take action and start walking towards your goals. And as you do this, you take consistent action, you keep moving forwards, you're going to start to again reprogram the beliefs of what you can do. Fear of failure in general is going to stop paralyzing you, and things will become a lot easier. Alright, so hope that helps, and I'll speak to you in another video. Bye for now.